If achieving your goals or your dream didn't really give you what you expected to have, or maybe the joy, the satisfaction of achieving it didn't last very long, or you got something that you want but then you realize that something else is missing, or some other problems start coming, and you know this kind of situation, you get in there but something is still not okay. Or sometimes people can arrive in the situation that they went through this so many times, achieved one thing, then another, and they just already don't believe the thing that they want, or maybe they just lost this idea of even pursuing something because they kind of feeling of achieving but not changing the way you feel was happening several times. So if you know this kind of feeling of achieving external thing, but the how you experience life is not changing, or something is still not enough, or something still not okay, I will explain here different reasons of why it may be happening and what you can do about it, because I was going through this many times, and I see also other people are going through this, and it can be different. It could be after achieving one thing that you really wanted for many years or for most of your life, or it could be different things and they're changing and you're adding them, but the feeling, the states that you're going through can be quite similar. And I was achieving quite a lot of things that I wanted, and something that were like really dreams, and something that I saw as like I just need only this one thing, and then kind of everything will be great. I can just relax and enjoy my life. And the interesting thing that usually with time we slowly stop believing this idea and this feeling already of it's just this one thing, and then kind of I can just relax and enjoy my life and feel great. That's usually not happening, but the idea of that it will happen keeps us going and keeps us doing things. So what I want to share here is not about giving up on getting goals and dreams and achieving them. It's about adding a different layer to all these stories, so hopefully you will feel better and you will be able to feel what you want to feel already here and now, regardless of what you're having or not having yet. The good thing, if you already went through getting what you want and achieving your goals, you felt it. And once you felt it, it's an experience that you should go through, because no matter how much people will kind of tell you, or how much you will read about the idea, getting this external thing will not fix this inner kind of state or feeling that you hoping to change with it, we don't believe it. We never believe it, and we should not really believe it, because I think the big point of life is really growing, moving, and getting things, changing your life. But that's only one part. The other part is what is going on inside you. And sometimes only after achieving what we want, we can finally look to what is inside that maybe was not addressed by obsession with external achievement. So now I will explain what's happening here. Several different reasons. When we want something that badly, that's the only thing, the only goal, and it could be different. It could be and relationship, and it could be career, money, success. It could be even that you want to live in your dream house or like dream country. It could be certain professions or things that you always wanted to do, that you like, find in your purpose. Literally, it could be anything. And in different points in our life, we could be focused on one specific thing and feels that this one will give us or satisfaction or meaning or happiness or fulfillment or safety, whatever you're looking for. It depends. And when we have this strong kind of the direction to this one specific thing that we wanted so badly that we can give up everything else and we can work towards it and do things towards it, this can be a survival mechanism that we're not aware about, because it's running under our conscious mind that this specific thing, goal that we want, for us means surviving, that will come there, it means that we survived. If it doesn't resonate with you, I will explain, because there are different levels to it. It's not always about physical survival, like you need a home, money, just to survive. Probably you're pursuing something much bigger, but on some level it can be attached to the survival. And there are 3 levels of survival. The physical survival, that's obvious and probably not the one that you're driven by. And there could be also emotional survival, that emotional survival is covering certain pain that you don't want to feel, and a certain kind of pleasure that you want to feel. And then different level is the what I call ego survival, is ego-driven goals, more about identity, success, how people perceive you, some story that you can tell about yourself once you achieved it, or trying to prepare yourself that you are sure that you will survive in the future. And I have a video where I explain this different level of survivals and what shift happening, because they are attached, you can look at them as levels of our chakras, root, sacral and solar plexus chakras, lower chakras, and how you switch to the heart, and that's where everything is changing. So if you want to see this perspective about chakras, energies and survival levels, you can check this video, I will link it here. But this is only one thing. The other thing, we can be driven so much towards our goal because we want to change certain feeling. We may feel unsafe, uncertain in this life, and by achieving certain goal, we want to cover this feeling. We can feel lonely, rejected, abandoned, this kind of pain that we want to cover. That's very often relationship goals. Some traumatic experience that we had, for example, in our childhood, from how our relationship with our parents, something sometimes that we don't even remember, but something that created us our wound. And this is still kind of emotional survival, this trauma, pain driven goals, that we expect some external thing to heal the pain that we couldn't process at some point because it was too much for us. And that's how we can pursue something to cover this feeling. But even if you get a relationship in this case, you may feel better because you have your relationship. If the trauma underneath it was not healed, it will be triggered by different things and you will start finding something else. The other thing that can drive in this pattern is feeling of not being enough, that something is not enough with you. This has also come from childhood, is when you were criticized, blamed, maybe punished, shamed. This feeling of something is wrong, something is not enough. This, I call it also like worse wound, the feeling of unworthiness that was created very early, that you couldn't receive unconditional love and acceptance, can push you very strongly to achieve things that you think will make you feel worthy. This very often career goals, success goals, purpose sometimes, that you feel that you're doing something meaningful, valuable, that other people maybe need what you're doing, that you're special in something, that you maybe also want to be approved by others, that you want to have some feedback from other people, that something that you achieved is valuable, that people see, that people appreciate it. That's related a lot to self-worth, and this is also connected to solar plexus chakra. It's a lot about self-esteem and personal power. Sometimes we looking a lot for freedom. That's another way why we want sometimes the obsession is to make as much money as possible and to be sure that you will be protected. Sometimes it's safety, sometimes it's freedom, that you want to make sure that you have this freedom to choose what you want to do, that you don't want to be controlled by others or depend on others. And this is driven also from childhood, when you felt that you were powerless, that decisions were made for you, and you were in this kind of maybe for feeling victim, and you find this mechanism to cope with it. So there can be different things that you're searching for: the safety, the freedom, the love and acceptance, the feeling of being worthy, and this kind of things. But when we notice sometimes that external thing is not covering it, and something is still not okay, And at some point, you may just want to have some peace and just to relax and enjoy your life. And you see that you can't, that something is still not okay, that you can't just enjoy, that you can't just relax, that at some point you maybe achieved a lot and yet you still get bored with what you have. And sometimes it comes also with some avoidance behavior, some addiction to different dopamine sources. The very common one in modern world is digital addictions, is content, consuming content a lot, constantly checking your phone, watching something. The one that is not yet perceived as a harmful thing, but it's avoidance, the same avoidance when people are addicted to certain substances and they harm themselves with something toxic, where they're taking this just not to feel the pain. And that's also a very common story when people kind of survived physically, they have everything that they needed, yet they become addicted to something that's harming them, because it's still you didn't survive emotionally. Emotional survival is a lot of pain that were not addressed. So what do you do with this loop if you saw it many times, that you can't have peace, that you can't stop from chasing, or you stop from chasing but you don't know what you want, you feel empty, you don't have fulfillment, you can't find purpose? The thing is here is not to drop your goals, your dreams, it depends where you're now. It's to start looking inside yourself, and this is the inner work. The inner work, when it's done for the sake of inner change, is very different than inner work when it's done for the idea of achieving something external, because that was my mistake at some point. I was doing inner work not to change the inner things, but I noticed that it works in a way. I change some inner things, heal something, and then I'm achieving the external thing that I wanted. And the goal still was always on external. But when you achieved a lot of external stuff, you can start looking inside and do the inner work already for what it is. It's changing your state and changing how you feel, and addressing things that maybe were not addressed, and learning to be able to change your state and change how you feel without covering it with something external, something outside you. And that's a very different journey, and that's where you can look inside and start asking your questions about what exactly that bothers you inside and what exactly that you want. Is you kind of your life anxiety driven, for example, and then you're addressing this problem of safety? Is it a worse wound that you still feel not enough and you need to achieve more and more to feel worthy? Then you work with worse, with self-love. If it's traumas of rejection, abandonment, you can't have maybe this close relationship that you want, you can't be vulnerable with relationships, something is always wrong with them. You address these things, how your maybe trust was hurt when you were a child, maybe you were betrayed, maybe you felt betrayed or rejected, or whenever you were vulnerable, you were experiencing some pain, someone were hurting you, maybe very often your parent, without wanting to hurt you, but they were doing something that maybe created you this wound of not be able to have meaningful connection where you can be yourself, and that's where you work with this connection. So you need to find what is your thing, or you're missing the feeling of meaning, of purpose, like what I'm doing here, what it is for. And that's where a lot of where comes spirituality a lot. And the spirituality, how I see it, is not about rejecting or escaping the physical world and things that you want to do or achieve here. It's about integrating everything. And sometimes people can use spiritual practice, meditations and other things to escape their pain and their feelings. So sometimes where we're getting things and we're not satisfied, we need to address emotional pain, emotional states, and some inner wounds that probably were not addressed. Maybe they're not too visible yet, maybe you learn to cover them very well, but they want your attention, and there are plenty of things that you can do about it. If you're interested to change your state, to change how you feel, not only by achieving external things, you can subscribe to my channel, because I cover this topic a lot from all the different angles, and from mental, your mindset, and from emotional, and how to work with emotions, with traumas, and energy level, because sometimes we can have energy blocks, and that's another very important thing. When you can't experience joy, fulfillment, gratitude, be in the moment and enjoy what you have, it's very often a block on your heart chakra. Heart, I would say, our center, the most important one. And recently I published a video where I shared 10 things that you can do that can help you to open your heart chakra, and that's what you can check next after this video if you're interested. If you have any questions, you can leave me a comment below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.